But primal ones are really nice. Anyway. Play.
Did you hear anything? Is she all right? Is she awake?
Why do you care? Are you best friends now?
I'm just curious. That Templar, Cullen, said it was the quickest, cleanest harrowing he'd ever seen. He says she's very talented and very brave.
Well, he would, wouldn't he?
I just know I'll be terrified when my time comes. Like Wendell was. He'd throw up every day for the next week just thinking about it.
Well. Oops, that's not what I meant to do.
Congratulations on your test.
Thank you. There's a chest. I'm gonna loot everything. Absolutely everything. Oh. Again, I need to get used to the controls of this game, dude. It's gonna take me a while. For sure. There's a vanity. Oh, jeez. I'm running into things.
I wonder when I'll get to go for my harrowing.
Harrowing. I have such trouble with that word. Harrowing. Is there anybody else I can talk to? I guess not. This is the room into there. The door into that room. Wow.
Don't know. Gregor hasn't said anything yet. And shh, we're on duty.
Yeah, there's no one here.
Someone's always watching. I swear it's like the walls have eyes. Shh.
Ah, interesting. What are you guys talking about?
Very well.
That was weird. Can I talk to you?
Talk to Bran. He's the chatty one.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, is there something you need?
That's a big door.
Yes, it is. Do you need something, or are you just here to state the obvious?
I am here to state the obvious. What's out
For
there?
Eldon, it's not very interesting. Mostly farms, the occasional river.
Is this the only way out of the tower?
The only safe one, as far as I know. There are windows on the higher levels, but surely you don't need me to warn you of the dangers of leaping from them. It
For
never
sure.
ends well.
Of course. Can I leave the tower?
No, you may not. I'm surprised you ask. I would have thought you'd be used to this idea by now.
Never hurts to try. Why can't I leave?
Only mages on official circle business are allowed to leave the tower, and the first enchanter has not informed us of any mages leaving the tower today.
I should get going.
Make a smile
Thank
fortune
you.
on you.
You guys are very polite. Oh, jeez. Okay. It's gonna take me a while to get used to this, so please bear with me. Is this the new... Is this the same?
Hear what? I heard they suspect someone of dabbling in blood magic. Why would anyone do
Ooh.
something so stupid? That's a death sentence.
For sure it is.
That's what I hear anyway.
Why was the audio so weird there? That happened earlier too with the other Templar. Acolyte staff. Is that the same staff I have? Oh. Ha! That was in the fade, dumbass. It's not going to translate into like a, you know, real world scenario here.
I heard Humbert volunteered to take the Rite of Tranquility. How awful.
I wish I could leave the tower once in a while.
Yeah, they really should do that. Like, this is just like a prison. Like, they really need to revamp how this works. Because this is not conducive to a healthy environment at all. I don't think they care about having a healthy environment anyway, but, you know, one can hope. Novice Flame Rune. Nice. I miss runes. I mean, you can still have them in basement? Should I go there?
Very well.
Let's go there. I should save. Am I supposed to be in here? Probably not. Oh, of course. Yeah, this is an area for later.
It is begun.
Are you stuck? You were stuck. Ink vellum.
You must control the fire with your will. Keep the flames steady. We don't want it sputtering and leaping about. That's what causes most of the injuries.
Injuries? But...
Steady. It reacts to your emotions. If you panic, it will... No. Breathe. You know, in my experience, flint and tinder works just as well. Maybe we should start with that.
Well, that's so funny. This poor dude, he's just scared, which is understandable.
I hope you've spoken to the first enchanter. He seems eager to see you.
He is very much so.
I've only burnt myself once today. I think that's progress.
That is good job. Good job, apprentice. There's a book. It's on the other side.
Do any of you remember what the chantry says about magic?
Magic must serve man, and not rule over him.
Very good. And what do you think that means? Can anyone tell me?
Only boys can do magic.
Hey!
No, that's not what it means.
It means that magic should be used to help people, but we can't use our magic to force people to do what we want.
That's right. We should not abuse the gift the Maker has given us.
This is just sad. These poor kids. Okay, let's go from here.
We're all really happy for you.
Oh, thank you. You're so kind.
Gerda told me the Templars watch us while we bathe. I hope that's not true.
Ha! That just got super dark. I mean, this game is incredibly dark, so that doesn't really surprise me.
Have you ever seen an abomination?
No.
Being in the tower is much better than being on the farm.
I don't think that's true, but I'm glad you're liking it here.
I like ponies.
That's nice. You're probably never going to see a pony ever again.
I remember when you were this age. Adorable.
Not really, but thanks, I guess. Where is this book? Oh my god, where is it? Where'd it go? There we go. The Fade. We were just there. The study of the Fade is as old as humankind. For so long as men have dreamed, we have walked its twisting paths, sometimes catching a glimpse of the city at its heart. Always as close as our own thoughts, but impossibly separated from our world. The Neverwinter Imperium once spent vast fortunes of gold, lyrium, and human slaves in an effort to map the terrain of the Fade, an ultimately futile endeavor. Although portions of it belong to powerful spirits, all of the Fade is in constant flux. The Imperium succeeded in finding the disparate and ever-shifting realms of a dozen demon lords, as well as cataloging a few hundred types of spirits, before they were forced to abandon the project. The relationship of dreamers to the Fade is complex. Even when entering the Fade through the use of lyrium, mortals are not able to control or affect it. The spirits who dwell there, however, can, and as the Chantry teaches us, the great flaw of the spirits is that they have neither imagination nor ambition. They create what they see through their sleeping visitors, building elaborate copies of our cities, our people, and events, which, like the reflections in a mirror, ultimately lack context or life of their own. Even the most powerful demons merely plagiarize the worst thoughts and fears of mortals, and build their realms with no other ambition than to taste life. From Tranquility and the Role of the Fade in Human Culture by first enchanter Josephus. Interesting. I don't know that I agree with the understanding of both spirits and demons in regards to the Fade, but that's how the world sees it.
If I had put all my power behind that spell, you would have been obliterated. I am not your enemy. Fear is your enemy. It is a weakness that can be exploited. Should you face a demon with your will wavering so, it would consume you. Is that what you want?
No.
Then stand firm and know you can resist whatever I throw at you. Again!
Much better. Okay.
I heard Humbert volunteered to take the right of tranquility. How awful.
I know, I've heard that already. You're the second person to have
I'm
said that.
terrible at spells. You're lucky you're so talented.
Thanks, I guess. I can't talk to you guys? Okay. Is there any other book? No. There's a book here.
Very well.
Mana and the use of magic. Mana is that which defines a mage. It is potential that dwells within a person but does not always manifest itself. All men are connected to the Fade. We go there to dream. But only those with this potential may draw upon its power. Mana is, then, a measurement of one's ability to draw power from the Fade, and it is this power that is expended in magic. As in all other things, it has limits. Just as a man has the strength to lift only so much weight and no more, a mage cannot work more magic at one time than his mana allows. If he wishes to work magic that would be beyond his strength, a mage must bolster his mana with lyrium. Without lyrium, it is possible for the reckless to expend their own life force in the working of magic, and occasionally ambitious apprentices injure or even kill themselves by overexertion. From the lectures of the first enchanter, Wenceslus. Thank you, Wenceslus.
Jowan's been acting weird all day. Have you seen him?
Yes, he woke me up. Hey, apprentice mage, come here. I need to talk to you.
Did you hear the rumor about someone being a blood mage?
I just heard it, yes.
It shall be done.
And it will be done. Owain.
Welcome to the Circle's stockroom of magical items. My name is Owain. How may I assist you?
What is the stockroom for?
The stockroom stores components used in magical and alchemical experiments. Do you require something?
Are you really a tranquil mage? This is so insensitive.
I voluntarily submitted to the rite of tranquility. I was unwilling to undergo the harrowing. I find this state agreeable.
Yeah, it's tough. You either die, take the harrowing, or be made tranquil. Which is, none of them are good options. It's basically which lesser of three evils are you going to be choosing? And that's just sad. You actually like being this way?
I see the world with clarity. I remember the days when my mind was filled with inconvenient and seething emotions. Now things are simple.
What happened during the rite of tranquility?
I was ordered to never speak of it. I cannot go against the Circle's wishes.
What was becoming tranquil like?
It is difficult to describe. I would perhaps compare it to being plunged into a pool of ice-cold water.
I'm not going to say he's no longer a person, because he is. It's not really his fault that those were the only options given to him, and he wasn't, given the proper tools to deal with probably fear, right? Like the emotions that were riding him, and it's just, the Circle is not a good program. It's not a good way to implement the education of mages. It's really meant to oppress them. It's not really meant to teach them how to control their magic, how to prosper, and how not to be, tempted by demons, right? Like, this is not a good program at all.
Very well. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Owain. Goodbye. Another tranquil. Wow.
Is there something you need? You must speak to Owain.
Oh, they
Good
all
day
work
to you.
here. Good day. Oh, this is so sad. Oh, hello. Oh, you're
Your mentors must be happy for you. You passed the harrowing.
Yes, I did. I don't know what cost, but I did. Oh, this is so... There's so many things. There's so many... Senior Enchanter Sweeney.
Oh, hello. I don't believe we've met. Are you new to the Circle?
I'm a newly harrowed mage, but I've lived here all my life.
I'm sorry. There are so many of you, and I get confused. Not to mention, these old eyes are starting to go.
Everyone makes mistakes.
You're too
Everyone
kind.
has those days.
I'm old and about to fall apart. Nothing in the world can fix that.
Oh my god, what is wrong with me? You should rest more, not be in a library.
But I enjoy the library. These books, they're old friends of mine. And it's quiet.
I relate.
You're my age, you'll appreciate the quiet. Anyway, did you need something?
I mean, I'm young, and I appreciate the quiet a lot. I just wanted to talk.
I'm not good at talking. Too much chatter makes my head throb. Don't you have lessons to get to? Shoo!
Okay. Bye.
They say you passed your harrowing. You must be happy.
I mean, yes, because I'm not dead. The 4 schools of magic. Primal. Those who oppose thee shall know the wrath of heaven. Field and forest shall burn. The seas shall... Oh my god. The seas shall rise and devour them. The wind shall tear their nations from the face of the earth. Lightning shall rain down from the sky. They shall cry out to their false gods and find silence. Andraste 7:19. Sometimes called the School of Power, the Primal School is the second of the schools of energy, balanced by spirit, and concerns the most visible and tangible forces of nature itself. This is the magic of war, fire, ice, and lightning, devastation. This is what the vast majority imagines when they hear the word magic. From the 4 schools, a treatise? I don't know. By first enchanter Josephus. I don't know how to say that word. I've read it multiple times for sure. But I don't know how to properly pronounce it because I've always just read it in my head, obviously. Opposition in all things, for earth, sky, for winter, summer, for darkness, light. By my will alone is balance sundered, and the world given new life. Thronitis 5:5. The school of creation, sometimes called the school of nature, is the second of the schools of matter, the balancing force and complement of entropy. Creation magic manipulates natural forces, transforming what exists and bringing new things into being. Creation requires considerable finesse, more than any other school, and is therefore rarely mastered. Those mages who have made a serious study of creation are the highest in demand, useful in times of peace as well as war. From the 4 schools, a treatise by first enchanter Josephus. Section of books appears to be missing. Interesting. Who could have stolen them? Not stolen, I guess borrowed. Hierarchy. Oh, that's another word I can't pronounce. Hierarchy of the circle. Hierarchy of the circle. It is no simple matter safeguarding ordinary men from mages and mages from themselves. Each circle tower must have some measure of self-government, for it is ever the Maker's will that men be given the power to take responsibility for our own actions, to sin and fail, as well as to achieve the highest grace and glory on our own strength. You, who will be tasked with the protection of the circle, must be aware of its workings. The first enchanter is the heart of any tower. He will determine the course the circle will take. He will choose which apprentices may be tested and made full mages, and you will work most closely with him. Assisting the first enchanter will be the senior enchanters, a small council of the most trusted and experienced magi in the tower. From this group, the next first enchanter is always chosen. Beneath the council are the enchanters. These are the teachers and mentors of the tower, and you must get to know them in order to keep your finger on the pulse of the circle. for the enchanters will always know what is happening among the children. All those who have passed their harrowing but have not taken apprentices are mages. This is where most trouble in a circle lies, in the idleness and inexperience of youth. The untested apprentices are the most numerous denizens of any tower, but they more often pose threats to themselves due to their lack of training than to anyone else. Knight Commander Serain of the Chantry Templars in a letter to his successor. Well, if you would train them properly, they wouldn't cause trouble now, would they?
Do you need something? If not, step back. You're in my light.
Your light?
I'm trying to study. Have some consideration for a fellow mage.
I'm just happy to see another elf.
Are you surprised? We are probably more attuned to magic than humans are. Or at least our ancestors must have been. With most of our history lost, I suppose I'll never really know. Maybe the Dalish elves would, but I've never met one.
Lost history?
When elves were taken on as slaves, we lost most of our culture. Few of us even know our own language. I hear the Dalish try to keep the old ways alive. Must be easier for them outside human rule.
I wish I knew the old language.
As do I. Perhaps one day I will have the chance to learn it. Are you from an alienage? I'm from a farm outside Highever. My mother worked as the cook's assistant there.
Ooh. Backstory. I'll just say I can't quite remember where I was from.
They must have taken you away when you were very young. I suppose it doesn't matter where we're from, does it? We're in the circle now.
Which is just sad. Utterly sad. We're reviled as mages as well, actually.
I am satisfied knowing the humans who look down upon me will fear me instead.
You really don't want
that.
I
should get back to my books.
Thank you for talking with me.
Good day.
Good day. Yeah, fear... Okay, listen. Fear does not make life easier. Especially when you are an elf, and the one who fears you are humans. They're the ones in power. You really don't want humans to fear you or to perceive you as a threat.
Owain is in charge of the stockroom.
I know.
That
most
he
Equitarians
is.
prefer to remain...
I think someone's here to speak to you, Senior Torren.
Gosh darn it, I wanted to listen to your conversation. You shouldn't have stopped, okay?
Hello. Congratulations on your harrowing last night. Good work.
Thank you. What were you talking about earlier?
Ah, the fraternities of the enchanters. You probably haven't heard of them. It's best not to get tangled up in circle politics. More trouble than it's worth, really.
Tell me about the fraternities.
They're found in all circles throughout Thedas. Groups of enchanters who hold similar viewpoints, who band together to make their voices heard. The most influential fraternity are the Equitarians. They are moderates and believe in a code of conduct that all mages should adhere to. Then there are the Chantry apologists, the loyalists. The Chantry says something and they follow it to the letter. The Lucrosians just want to make money, and the isolationists would like us all to be hermits and live on an island. Then, of course, there are the Libertarians. They want more power for the Circle, more autonomy.
Which do you belong to?
Well, if I had to, I'd say I was an Equitarian, but I ducked out of the fray a long time ago. Most of the senior enchanters are Equitarians. Irving, Wynne, Sweeney. Ulrid's a Libertarian, and a loud one at that. Mages have enough opposition from the outside without tearing our circles apart with infighting. But what can you do?
Well, giving up doesn't help anyone.
An idealist, I see. Well, if you're going to change the world, you should get started immediately. Lots of world to cover.
Love the mockery. Just absolutely love it. The Fraternity of Enchanters. Another aspect of circle life is the fraternity. When a mage becomes an enchanter, he may ally himself with a fraternity. These are cliques that cross circle boundaries, mages of common interests and goals who band together to ensure that their voice is heard within the College of Magi in Cumberland. The largest fraternities currently are the Loyalists, who advocate loyalty and obedience to the Chantry, the Equitarians, who advocate temperance and follow a distinct code of conduct, which they believe all mages should hold themselves to, the Libertarians, a growing fraternity publicly maintaining greater power for the circles, but secretly advocating a complete split from the Chantry, a dangerous opinion naturally. I would think I'm a libertarian. Just a more moderate libertarian, I guess. The Isolationists, a small group that advocates withdrawing to remote territories in order to avoid conflicts with the general populace. The Lucrosians, who maintain that the circle must do what is profitable first and foremost. They prioritize the accumulation of wealth, but the gaining of political influence a close second. Probably just like, noble mages. Mages that came from noble families. So far, an alliance between the Loyalists and Equitarians has prevented the Libertarians from gaining much headway, but there are signs that the Equitarians may throw their support in with the Libertarians. If that happens, many mages predict it will come to civil war among the circles. Oh my gosh. Foreshadowing from the Circle of the Magi history by the first enchanter Josephus. First enchanter Josephus has written a lot. 4 schools of magic. Entropy. Here we go. To you, my second-born, I grant this gift, and your heart shall burn an unquenchable flame, all-consuming and never satisfied. Therionitis 5:7. The second of the 2 schools of matter, entropy is the opposing force of creation. For this reason, it is often called the school of negation. Nothing lives without death. Time inevitably brings an end to all things in the material world, and yet this ending is the seed of a beginning. A river may flood its banks, causing havoc, but brings new life to its floodplain. The fire that burns a forest ushers in new growth, and so it is with entropic magic that we manipulate the forces of erosion, decay, and destruction to create anew. From the 4 schools, a treatise by first enchanter Josephus. History of the Circle. It is a truth universally acknowledged that nothing is more successful at inspiring a person to mischief as being told not to do something. Unfortunately, the Chantry of the Divine Age had some trouble with obvious truth. Although it did not outlaw magic, quite the contrary, as the Chantry relied upon magic to kindle the eternal flame which burns in every brazier in every Chantry. Of course. It relegated mages to lighting candles and lamps, perhaps occasional dusting of rafters and eaves. I will give my readers a moment to contemplate how well such a role satisfied the mages of the time. It surprised absolutely no one when the mages of Val-Royeaux, in protest, snuffed the sacred flames of the cathedral and barricaded themselves inside the choir loft. Choir loft? No one, that is, but divine Ambrosia II, who was outraged and attempted to order an exalted march upon her own cathedral. Absolute insanity. Oh my god. Even her most devout Templars discouraged that idea. For 21 days, the fires remained unlit, while negotiations were conducted, legend tells us, by shouting back and forth from the loft. The absolute clownery that is the Chantry. Jesus Christ. The mages went cheerily into exile in a remote fortress outside of the capital, where they would be kept under the watchful eye of the Templars and counsel of their own elder Magi. Outside of normal society and outside of the Chantry, the mages would form their own close society, the Circle, separated for the first time in human history. I mean, it must have been an improvement, but also not that good of an improvement, because the Circle, as it turns out, is the worst thing you could have done. It's literally a prison. All these magi, all these mages encircled, into this one location where their fears could wreak havoc, and they're just being monitored by the Templars, which are monitored by the Chantry. So here we are. From a Fires, Circles, and Templars, A History of Magic in the Chantry by Sister Patrie and Chantry Scholar. Okay, this is not the same sister from Dragon Age 2. That's Sister Patrice, I think. I got a little confused. I was like, hell no. Okay. The Four Schools of Magic Spirit. Okay, this is the last one, I think. And the voice of the Maker shook the Fade, saying, "In my image I have wrought my firstborn. You have been giving dominion over all that exists. By your will, things are done, yet you do nothing. The realm I have given you is formless, ever-changing." Thronitis 5:4. The first of the two schools of energy, Spirit, is opposed by the Primal School. It is the School of Mystery, the Ephemeral School. Ephemeral? School. I don't know. This is the study of the invisible energies which surround us at all times, yet are outside of nature. It is from the fate itself that this magic draws its power. Students of this school cover everything from direct manipulation of mana and spell energies to the study and summoning of spirits themselves. By its nature, an esoteric school, as most others know virtually nothing about the Fade, studies of spirit magic are often misunderstood by the general populace, or even confused for blood magic, an unfortunate fate for a most useful branch of study. From the Four Schools, a treatise by First Enchanter Josephus. Nice. This is where it came from, right? Yes, it is.
I shall do it.
That you shall.
Oh, excuse me. I didn't hear you come in. I'm sorry. I'm terribly busy right now. I have to prepare the room before the Grey Warden is done at his meeting with Irving.
There's a Grey Warden here.
Yes, Duncan his name is. He must be here to talk to Irving about something important. You know, I almost became a Grey Warden once.
Really?
There were several of us chosen, though the Grey Wardens only wanted one recruit. They only ever have one mage, you see. I think they thought I was the best candidate, but I was young and foolish, and I said I wasn't interested. They picked someone else instead, and that was that. I've regretted it ever since. Oh well, I should get back to my work.
Okay, thanks for the information. Well, I mean, I would honestly choose to be a Grey Warden over being in the circle. But that's just me, I guess.
It shall be done.
Don't mind me, just stealing everything. Hello, mage.
Ah, there you are. You are to be moved out of the apprentices' dormitory, and these are to be your new quarters.
Oh.
Tranquil will move your belongings this afternoon. Go on, make yourself comfortable.
That's why you didn't say anything. Oh, well, I was not aware this was going to be my rooms. This is pretty... Oh. I was going to say, this is pretty big. This is not just mine. This is other people's, of course. Duh. I'm not that important to get my own room with, like, a fucking door. Can't have any fucking privacy in here. Hello.
Everyone's so happy for you.
Are they? I hope so. Or at least I hope they're not, like, I don't know, planning my demise or something.
Irving wants to see you. Get going.
Okay, I will. Thank you. Oh no, Cullen.
Oh, hello. I'm glad to see your harrowing went smoothly.
Why is the audio being so weird? Why are you studying wedding? Hello, Cullen.
They picked me as the Templar to strike the killing blow if...
That's just cruel.
If you became an abomination. It's nothing personal, I swear. I'm just glad you're alright, you know?
Of course it's nothing personal that I have to cut you down if you turn out to be an abomination. It's obviously nothing personal. I thought all Templars liked killing me. I mean, I don't want to be antagonistic. I knew I would not fail my harrowing.
You've always been so confident, or so I hear.
Yeah,
I've heard of failed harrowings, and the consequences were... unpleasant.
I shouldn't distract you from your duties.
Oh, you're not distracting? I mean, you are, but... well, you're not. I mean, you can talk to me anytime if you want. Yes. Maybe we can talk another time.
Colin, this was never gonna work. Okay? This was never gonna work. You're literally my jailer. Like, what are you talking about? Like, listen, you're sweet. I think you're the best of the Templars in this damn circle, but this, no. No. You're super sweet. And I'm so sorry for what's gonna happen to you in the future, because you did not deserve that, or you do not deserve that, but, yeah, not great. Not great. Your character arc is truly
Very
tragic. Well. Private documents? A book.
I shall do it.
The cardinal rules of magic. You must not be under the misimpression that magic is all-powerful. There are limits, and not even the greatest mages may overcome them. No one, for instance, has found any means of traveling either over great distances or small ones beyond putting one foot in front of the other. So, unfortunately, no teleportation magic. That's truly sad. The immutable nature of the physical world prevents this. So no, you may not simply pop over to Minrathous to borrow a cup of sugar, nor may you magic the essay you forgot in the apprentice dormitory to your desk. You will simply have to be prepared. Similarly, even when you send your mind into the Fade, your body remains behind. Only once has this barrier been overcome, and reputedly, the spell required 2/3 of delirium in the Neverwinter Imperium, as well as the lifeblood of several hundred slaves. The results were utterly disastrous. Well, damn. Finally, life is finite. A truly great healer may bring someone back from the very precipice of death, when breath and heartbeat have ceased, but the spirit still clings to life. But once the spirit has fled the body, it cannot be recalled. That is no failing of your skills or your power. It is simply reality. From the lectures of First Enchanter Wincelis. Well.
Did you see that Grey Warden? I hear he's trying to recruit a mage for his order.
Yes, I did. Everyone's gossiping about it. I mean, what else is there to do besides gossip in this place, honestly? Hello.
I hear Irving's very proud of you.
Well, I'm glad. I'm very proud of myself, actually. Nice.
I'd avoid Leora if I were you. She's been rather testy lately.
Why?
Who knows? I'm not going to ask her why she's irritable. Women hate those kind of questions. She won't even let us get extra supplies from the cavern stalls. Just keeps it locked up and pretends she hasn't heard us asking. I should get back to my experiments. I wouldn't want anything to blow up while I'm talking to you.
Yeah, you really wouldn't. Hello. Books? Maleficarum! It has been asked, where are Maleficarum? How shall we know them? I have been as troubled by this question as you. You have come to me for the wisdom of the Maker, but none have seen the Maker's heart save beloved Andraste. And so I have done as all mortals must, and looked to the words of his prophet for answers. And there I found respite from a troubled mind. For she has said to us, magic exists to serve man and never to rule over him. Therefore, I say to you, they who work magic which dominates the minds and hearts of others, they have transgressed the Maker's law. They have so misinterpreted that phrase, by the way. Magic exists to serve man and never to rule over him. I think it means if you have magic, you should never have the magic have control over you. You should be able to master your magic. But of course, the Chantry. Of course, the Chantry. Of course, the Chantry. So here we are. Also, Our Lady said to us, those who bring harm without provocation to the least of his children are hated and accursed by the Maker. And so it is made clear to me, as it should be to us all, that magic which fuels itself by harming others, by the letting of blood, is hated by the Maker. Those mages who honor the Maker and keep his laws we welcome as our brothers and sisters. Those who reject the laws of the Maker and the words of his prophet are apostate. They shall be cast out and given no place among us, from the sermons of Justinia I. Also, why is that only applied to only mages? Those who bring harm without provocation to the least of his children are hated and cursed by the Maker. This should be to everyone. If you hate and bring harm to the least of his children, then you should be cast out and hated. I mean, what of the Orlesians and what they did, and even the Fereldans, what they did to Dalish, or to even the dwarves? Like, come on now.
Oh, it's you. I hear Irving's looking for you.
That he is.
Ah, this is infuriating. Another batch destroyed. Say, have you seen Owain? Is he in the stockroom?
Or Wayne. Okay. Yes, I just spoke to him.
Oh, excellent. He wasn't there last I looked. I hope he still has some cinnabar lying around. When I asked last week, he said he was running out. And I know there's some in the caverns, but Leora just keeps that door locked and won't let any of us in there.
Why?
I don't know. She won't say. Well, enough talk. I need to head to the stockroom to see if I can pry more supplies from Owain.
Poor Owain. He's probably overworked. I mean, he probably doesn't feel it. Well, would they feel physical fatigue if they don't feel emotions? Who knows? If they don't, like if they don't actually feel it, then that's no good at all, dude. They're probably overworking them to the bone. Which is obviously not nice. A book! The Rite of Annulment. Oh no. In the 83rd year of the Glory Age, one of the mages of the Nevarran Circle was found practicing forbidden magic. The Templars executed him swiftly, but this brewed discontent among the Nevarran Circle. The mages made several magical attacks against the Templars, vengeance for the executed mage, but the Knight Commander was unable to track down which were responsible. 3 months later, the mages summoned a demon and turned it loose against their Templar watchers. Come on, guys. Demons, however, are not easily controlled. After killing the first wave of Templars who tried to contain it, the demon took possession of one of its summoners. The resulting abomination slaughtered Templars and mages both before escaping into the countryside. The Grand Cleric sent a legion of Templars to hunt the fugitive. They killed the abomination a year later, but by that time it had slain 70 people. Oh my god. Divine Galatea, responding to the catastrophe in Navarra and hoping to prevent further incidents, granted all the Grand Clerics of the Chantry the power to purge a circle entirely if they rule it irredeemable. This rite of annulment has been performed 17 times in the last 700 years. From A Fire, Circles and Templars, A History of Magic in this Chantry by Sister Patrine, Chantry Scholar. Jesus Christ. Oh my god. On the founding of the Chantry, Cordelis Dracon, king of the city-state of Relay, was a man of uncommon ambition. In the year -15 Ancient, the young king began construction of a great temple dedicated to the Maker, and declared that by its completion he would not only have united the warring city-states of the south, he would have brought Andrastanian belief to the world. In -3 Ancient, the temple was completed, so it took 12 years. There, in its heart, Dracon knelt before the eternal flame of Andraste and was crowned ruler of the Empire of Orlais, his first act as emperor, to declare the Chantry as the established Andrastian religion of the Empire. It took 3 years and several hundred votes before Alessa of Montsimard was elected to lead the new Chantry. Upon her coronation as divine, she took the name Justinia, in honor of the disciple who recorded Andraste's songs. In that moment, the ancient era ended and the divine age began. From Ferelden Folklore and History by Sister Patrine, Chantry Scholar. Interesting. I don't think I remember reading a codex about the founding of the Chantry. Well, that was an interesting read. I wonder how many religions they had to purge before it took
Blessed
place.
art thou who exists in the sight of the Maker.
Stay silent.
Blessed are the penitents who seek his return. Blessed is the prophetess, purified by flame. May the chant reach the Maker's ears and tell him of our contrition. So let it be. Oh, I didn't see you there. I recite the Maker's blessings every day. It brings me peace in troubled times.
Just speaking words bring you peace.
It gives me hope that one day the Maker will hear us. That maybe I'll be forgiven and my curse will be lifted.
Curse?
Magic. What else?
You don't like having this power.
Magic causes such misery. It's dangerous and vile and wicked. The Chantry must protect the world from us. Being born with something so terrible must be a punishment. I wish I could be rid of it.
I mean, you could use your abilities to help people.
That doesn't take magic. If I could, I would dedicate my life to the Chantry, but they would never take me in. Perhaps this is just something I will have to suffer through. I should go. My mentor only allows a few minutes each day for religious contemplation.
That sucks. Poor lady. Okay, thank you. Andraste, Bride of the Maker. There was once a tiny fishing village on the waking sea that was set upon by the Tevinter Imperium, which enslaved the villagers to be sold in the markets of Minrathous, leaving behind only the old and the infirm. One of the captives was the child Andraste. She was raised in slavery in a foreign land. She escaped, then made the long and treacherous journey back to her homeland alone. She rose from nothing to be the wife of the Alamari warlord. Each day she sang to the gods, asking them to help her people who remained slaves in Tevinter. The false gods of the mountains and the winds did not answer her, but the true God did. The Maker spoke. He showed her all the works of his hands, the Fade, the world, and all the creatures therein. He showed her how men had forgotten him, lavishing devotion upon mute idols and demons, and how he had left them to their fate. But her voice had reached him, and so captivated him that he offered her a place at his side, that she might rule all of creation. But Andraste would not forsake her people. She begged the Maker to return to save his children from the cruelty of the Imperium. Reluctantly, the Maker agreed to give man another chance. Andraste went back to her husband, Mafrath, and told him all that the Maker had revealed to her. Together, they rallied the Alamari and marched forth against the mage lords of the Imperium, and the Maker was with them. The Maker's sword was creation itself, fire and flood, famine and earthquake. Everywhere they went, Andraste sang to the people of the Maker, and they heard her. The ranks of the Andraste's followers grew until they were a vast tide washing over the Imperium. And when Mafroth saw that the people loved Andraste and not him, a worm grew within his heart, gnawing upon it. At last, the armies of Andraste and Mafroth stood before the very gates of Minrathous, but Andraste was not with them. For Mafroth had schemed in secret to hand Andraste over to the Tevinter. For this, the Archon would give Mafroth all the lands to the south of the Waking Sea. And so, before all armies of the Alamari and of Tevinter, Andraste was tied to a stake and burned while her earthly husband turned his armies aside and did nothing, for his heart had been devoured. But as he watched the pyre, the Archon softened. He took pity on Andraste and drew his sword and granted her the mercy of a quick death. The Maker wept for his beloved, cursed Mafroth, cursed mankind for the betrayal, and turned once again from creation, taking only Andraste with him. And Our Lady sits still at his side, where she still urges him to take pity on his children. From the Sermons of Justinia II. I wonder what the truth behind that story is.
I heard about your harrowing. Congratulations. Andraste must have smiled upon you.
Well, I mean, I don't really follow Andraste. The Maker. There was no word for heaven or for earth, for sea or sky. All that existed was silence. When the voice of the Maker rang out, the first word, and his word became all that might be. Dream and idea, hope and fear, endless possibilities. And from it made his firstborn. And he said to them, in my image I forged you, to give I you. What? To you I give dominion over all that exist, but your will may all things, by your will, may all things be done. Then in the center of heaven he called forth a city with towers of gold, streets with music for cobblestones, and banners which flew without wind. There he dwelled, waiting to see the wonders his children would create. The children of the Maker gathered before his golden throne, and sang hymns of praise unending. But their songs were the songs of the cobblestones. They shone with the golden light, reflected from the Maker's throne. They held forth the banners that flew on their own. And the voice of the Maker shook the fade, saying, in my image I have wrought, my firstborn. You have been given dominion over all that exists. By your will all things are done, yet you do nothing. The realm I have given you is formless, ever-changing. And he knew he had wrought amiss, so the Maker turned from his firstborn, and took from the fade a measure of its living flesh, and placed it apart from the spirits, and spoke to it, saying, here I decree opposition in all things, for earth, sky, for winter, summer, for darkness, light. By my will alone is balance sundered, and the world given new life. And no longer was it formless, ever-changing, but held fast, immutable, with the words of for heaven and for earth, sea and sky. At last did the Maker from the living world make men immutable as the substance of the earth, with souls made of dream and idea, hope and fear, endless possibilities. Then the Maker said, to you, my second-born, I grant this gift, and your heart shall burn an unquenchable flame, all-consuming and never satisfied. From the fade I crafted you, and to the fade you shall return, each night in dreams, that you may always remember me. And then the Maker sealed the gates of the golden city, and there he dwelled, waiting to see the wonders his children would create. Leonidas 5:1-8.
As you say.
The chant of light, the Blight. No matter their power, their triumphs, the mage lords of Tevinter were men and doomed to die. Then a voice whispered within their hearts, shall you surrender your power to times like the beasts of the fields? You are the lords of the earth, go forth to claim the empty throne of heaven and be gods. In secret they worked, magic upon magic, all their power and all their vanity. They turned against the veil until at last it gave way. Above them a river of light, before them the throne of heaven waiting beneath their feet. The footprints of the Maker, and all around them echoed a vast silence. But when they took a single step toward the empty throne, a great voice cried out, shaking the very foundations of heaven and earth. And so is the golden city blackened with each step you take in my hall. Marvel at perfection, for it is fleeting. You have brought sin to heaven, and doom upon all the world. Violently were they cast down, for no mortal may walk bodily in the realm of dreams, bearing the mark of their crime. Bodies so maimed and distorted that none should see them and know them for men. Deep into the earth they fled, away from the light. In darkness eternal they searched for those who had goaded them on, until at last they found their prize, their god, their betrayer, the sleeping dragon Dumat. Their taint twisted even the false god, and the whisperer awoke at last in pain and horror, and led them to wreak havoc upon all the nations of the world. The first Blight, from Leonidas 8. Again, I wonder what this true story behind that story is, right? Because the Chantry likes to corrupt and twist events to fit their narrative. So I wonder, like, you know, what the truth behind that is.
Many have already gone to Ostagar. Wynne, Aldred, and most of the senior mages. We've committed enough of our own to this war effort.
Your own? Since when have you felt such kinship with the mages, Gregor? Or are you afraid to let the mages out from under Chantry supervision, where they can actually use their Maker-given powers?
How dare you suggest?
Gentlemen, please.
Irving, someone is here to see you.
You sent for me?
Ah, if it isn't our new sister in the circle. Come, child.
This is...
Yes, this is she.
Well, Irving, you're obviously busy. We will discuss this later.
Of course. Well, and where was I? Oh, yes, this is Duncan of the Grey Wardens.
Hello, pleased to meet you.
You've heard about the war brewing to the south, I expect. Duncan is recruiting mages to join the king's army at Ostagar.
Who are we fighting?
The Darkspawn threat grows in the south. We need all the help we can get.
What do you mean?
The power you mages wield is an asset to any army. Your spells are very effective against large groups of mindless Darkspawn. I fear if we don't drive them back, we may see another Blight.
Duncan, you worry the poor girl with talk of Blights and Darkspawn. This is a happy day for her.
We live in troubled times, my friend.
We should seize moments of levity, especially in troubled times. The harrowing is behind you. Your phylactery was sent to Denerim. You are officially a mage within the circle of Magi.
Damn, how long was I asleep for my phylactery to already... Well, they said they sent it to Denerim. It didn't say they... You know, it's already delivered. Okay. My leash, you mean? Oh my god. My phylactery?
You may not remember, but blood was taken from you when you first came to us. This blood is preserved within a phylactery.
So they can be hunted if they turn apostate.
We have few choices. The gift of magic is looked upon with suspicion and fear. We must prove we are strong enough to handle our power responsibly. You have done this. I present you with your robes, your staff, and a ring bearing the Circle's insignia. Wear them proudly, for you have earned them.
What happens now?
Patience, child. You have been through an ordeal. Let us not rush things. It goes without saying that you shall not discuss the harrowing with those who have not undergone the rite. Now then, take your time to rest, or study in the library. The day is yours.
I will do that.
I will return to my quarters.
Would you be so kind as to escort Duncan back to his room, child?
It would be my pleasure.
The guest quarters are on the east side of this floor, close to the library. Now, if you'll both excuse me, I have matters to discuss with Gregor.
Awesome. I just looked at OBS and I'm at 2 hours of recording, so this is probably gonna have to get split into 2 episodes because 2 hours is a lot. So I will continue this later. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.